Hello, everyone. I'm Reve Sinclair, and I'm here today to talk with you really briefly in this mini video about navigating the doula interview. Let's talk about it. Now, a doula interview is incredibly important for you and the family. This is how we get our businesses going, right? They have to find a way to connect with you, and you have to find a way to connect with them. Here's the first tip I want to give you. This is an interview, and a lot of times we typically go into an interview waiting for folks to ask us questions and we answer them, and we're trying to impress them. I want to change your mindset about how you're going to approach your doula interview. You're going to take the lead. I know we like for other folks to take the lead in interviews, but this is not your typical interview. It is important for you to find a way to communicate with the family your confidence, your skills, and your abilities. And you need to do it in a very short time frame. So, for one of those, that's one of the reasons why you need to take the lead. You also need to take the lead because most people generally don't know what we do as doulas. And so it can be awkward for them to take a lead in something that they're not exactly an expert in. Remember, when you're interviewing at a company, the folks who are interviewing you are in the company. They do the work. They know what they're looking for. They know the skill set that they're looking for because they understand the profession very well. That's not necessarily what happens in this kind of interview. Families are getting pregnant. They might be for the first time, or this might be the first time that they're inviting a doula into the circle. So they're a little bit out of their element and they don't know exactly what they need or want. They may not exactly know what they're looking for. The other handicap for them is that doulas do different things. Not all of us have the same training, background, expertise. So families don't even know what all you do. They don't necessarily even know what questions to ask. So taking the lead helps get everyone comfortable. It's time efficient and it gives you a chance to say all that you need to say, and gives the family enough information to help make a decision about who you are, what your expertise is, your training, and whether or not you all are a good fit. So, super important for you to remember you're being interviewed by the family, but you are also interviewing the family. So, go ahead, take the lead. Get all of the information that you need to know to find out if this family is also a good fit for you and your business. Remember, if you've set up your business and really been thoughtful, you have an ideal client in mind. Find out if this family is your ideal client. So, when you take the lead, here's how it goes. You're taking the lead right away in your greeting. You're going to greet the family. One of the things you're going to do is you're going to tell your name. You're going to ask them their name, everybody who's on screen or who you're present with. Find out their names. It's also really important to ask them their pronouns so you're addressing them properly. This is a time where you want to connect. You want to warm up the room. You want to make everybody start to feel comfortable. So when you lead the greeting, when you ask some of the questions, it allows them to give you answers and for all of us to get acquainted. But mostly, you're going to continue leading the interview into gathering information. So let me give you an example. I might go in and say, hi, everyone. Congratulations to you. My name is Reve. I always tell people my name because it's an unusual name, and sometimes people are a little uncomfortable because they don't know how to pronounce my name. So I always say my name. So back to the role play. Hi, everyone. My name is Reve Sinclair. Can you all tell me your names and even your pronouns? So they'll tell me, and I'll say, okay, great. I'm really excited to be talking with you today. We're just gonna gather some information and see if we're a good fit. Does that sound good to you? Yep, yep, yep. Okay, great. So then I'll say, okay, I have a few questions for you right out the gate, and this will help me understand what you're looking for and why you're looking for a doula. Usually, always the family say, oh, okay, because now they don't have to dive right into the list of questions that they have in front of them, right? This gives you a chance to for everybody to relax. So gathering information is a way to get everybody just comfortable talking and interacting. It erases what could be awkward, all right? So we're trying to get rid of the awkwardness of this conversation. And so it's easy if they everybody just gives technical answers. So when I gather information, I'll say, can you give me a little bit of information? Tell me where you're birthing. Are you birthing at a hospital, a birth center, at home? Why do I do that? Because I also want them to know there are options. My interviews are educational. I want them to know that, oh, those are other options, because I may get a family who they stumble, and I've had them say that. They say, well, we're birthing in a hospital, but where else could we birth? Right? They may say, I haven't thought about a birthplace or a birth center. I never thought about a home birth, but I want them to know I'm open to whatever options that they're choosing. And so I go ahead and I ask that question. Anyway, they go on and they tell me where they're birthing at a hospital. They tell me the hospital. I ask about their provider. I ask if they're happy with their provider, if they're feeling comfortable. A lot of times I get a lot of information just from them saying, well, I haven't figured out a provider yet, or, well, I'm not comfortable. I'm not as happy. So you write that down. This is gathering information. Now, one of the things that if they hire you, one of the things where you may help them is to help them find a provider where there's alignment between the family and the provider. Okay, moving on. I asked them, has the pregnancy been uneventful, or have there been some blips in the road? That gives them a chance to give me some answers, some things that are on top of their mind about their pregnancy. If there are concerns or if it's been uneventful, they'll share that. I also ask a little bit about their health history. I'll say, are you high risk? Is there anything that you're concerned about your own health? They'll give me an answer. Great, we'll move on. But now we're warmed up, okay? So I've gathered a little bit of information. I've taken some notes. I've asked them some questions. Everybody's gotten a little bit more comfortable. Then I move into the getting to know questions. So I'll say, okay, so we're here because you're looking for a doula. I understand a little bit why, given your pregnancy journey and things like that. But now I want to know, what do you desire for your birth or your birthing day? I may say it like that. And I'll say specifically to the birthing person, what are you hoping for on that day? What do you want to feel like? What do you want it to look like? They'll give me their answer. It's great. If there's a partner, I'll ask them that question. I never assume that what the birthing person wants is also what the partner wants. A lot of times their vantage point is different. And so, we're dueling everybody in the partnership. And so I want everybody to be able to have a voice and give them answers. Again, I'm demonstrating to them how I'm going to doula them. All right. Doula them in your interview so that they can get a true feel of who you are. Okay. So they'll answer that. I'll take some notes. It's an opportunity for you to get connected to them and deepen your understanding of their desires, their fears, their goals for their birth. Next, what I'm going to do is I'll say, okay, so we talked a little bit, but I know you probably have some specific questions. How do you want to do this? Do you want me to give my spiel, or do you want to start with yours? And always they say, no, you go ahead. And I'll say, okay, great, because I'll probably answer some of the questions that you have as I give my spiel. And so what do? I share my story. Sometimes depending on the vibe, I might tell them how I became a doula, why I became a doula. I'll tell them about my experiences of supporting over 830 births over 22 years. I'll tell them what my style of doulaing is. That's a tongue twister. I'll tell them what my goals are. I'll let them get a chance to feel my vibe and understand my why. But I also don't go too long. This is not a place where you want to spend a ton of time, because remember, this generally an interview might go about 30 minutes. And with all the other things that we've done, we probably have spent about 15 minutes in the talk. So I may go ahead and give my spiel, and I try to keep it under 5 minutes because there's lots to say when you've supported a ton of folks. But the goal of giving your spiel is to answer a lot of the ticky questions that are on the family's list. So you're going to say how many years you've been birthing or doing birth support. You're going to say how many families you've supported. You're going to say what you're interested in. You're going to say how you approach working with families. You're going to say why you came into it. You're going to answer a lot of the initial questions that families have. Okay, so that's the goal. That also allows them, now you get into the next step, is you're going to get their story. And when you're getting their story, you're going to learn about them. And mostly, they're going to ask you questions. You're going to answer their questions. So this is the bulk of the interview, is to get their specific questions answered. Take your time, spend time getting to know them. When they ask you a question and you answer it a little bit, answer it with a story, answer it with an illustration, or answer it with an experience that you've had. Also, ask them a question back in return so that this can be conversational and not a question, answer. This is not a tennis match. This is a collaboration, and you want, again, for them to get a sense of how you're going to doula them. So go ahead, take your time, answer their questions, ask them questions so that they are clear about your motivations and how you can help them. When this is done, when everybody gets kind of, to the end and all the questions are answered, what you then want to do is share your next steps. Tell them, again, because you're still leading this interview, you want to tell them, okay, so here are the next steps. I'm going to XYZ, or I'm going to send you a link, or whatever you're going to do. Whatever the next steps are, tell them what those next steps are so that they can know what to expect from you. This is important to have very clear communication and demonstrate to them how organized you are, how great of a communicator you are, and gives them a chance to have some expectation of you so that they're not confused when they hang up from the call or when you walk out from the interview if it's in person. After you share your next steps, you want to leave. You want to close it out on a high note. And then if you promise follow up, whatever it is, whatever you're going to get them, the link, whatever, make sure you follow up in the time frame that you agreed to do so that they can trust that you're going to do what you say you're going to do. Again, you're demonstrating how you're going to doula. And that's it. So interviewing might feel overwhelming to you. It might feel like you're not very good at it. I hope that this mini video is a great opportunity for you to get clear, feel a little bit more organized, and feel a little bit more calm about how to approach an interview. It's not out of your control. It is very much within your control. And trust me, families will thank you for the experience. Okay, well, that's all I got for today. Happy dueling, everybody. See you next time.